Hello everyone, it's Breakmaster here, and today I have one of my absolute favorite sets to review. This is the LEGO Castle 10193 Medieval Market Village from 2008. This set comes with 1,601 pieces, was rated for ages 12 and up, and of course was released in 2008. So this is one of my favorite sets that I own, and used to be the largest set I had until the Tower of Orthanc, which is a set that I reviewed quite recently, and this thing is so full of detail, minifigures, and just is an overall wonderful looking set. And there's not another set out there like it. So this is the only medieval market village, or at least the medieval market village that's at this scale. I didn't check if there are micro versions or anything like that, but yeah, this is a wonderful set. And yeah, now we'll look at the instructions to be the first part of the review. So here are the two instruction booklets, and of course they are quite large because this is a very large set with a lot of pieces. And the first one comes with a total of 76 pages including the back, and has a lot of advertising for other castle sets released that year. And I have to say, these look quite nice, and this castle's theme, which was around from 2007 to 2008, had a lot of fantasy elements in it. For example, they had dwarves, they had trolls, the main enemy were skeletons, and yeah, the trolls would ally themselves with the skeletons, and they were all under the control of some wizard, which is a really neat idea. And here's one of the troll ships with the main castle in the background, and you know, this is a pretty neat castle theme, of course. And of course, here it shows you the castle in greater detail with one of those really nice dragons that they have there. And here's a nice battle scene going on. Skeletons versus knights. Very neat idea. I do quite like it. And of course it does come with a little box that tells you what pieces you need for each step. So that's it for the first instruction booklet. The second one has, again, 64 pages and has some sets advertised here. I have reviewed this, and I've still yet to review that set. And it says you can win a Lego set. It does not have the Screaming Boy yet, by the way. It says here you can fill out a Lego Club form to get the magazine. And here it shows you the Volkswagen Beetle. And over here it shows you the Taj Mahal. Very large and expensive sets if you want to get them now. I think they're even expensive back then. And here it shows you the backs of the buildings, the Medieval Market Village. And of course here it shows you the parts list, which is quite extensive, well, based on the amount of parts in this set that's to be expected. But anyway, those are it. Those are the instructions. So here are all the minifigures that come in this set. There are a total of 8, so that's great that you have this many minifigures in the set, and I have to say they all look quite nice. So the first two minifigures are knights. So here's the first one right here, your average castle knight for this time period. He has a nice spear, and I really like his coat of arms with the crown on it on his shirt. He has a nice belt. He also has the very nice silver helmet. He comes with a spear as his main weapon, and overall he is a pretty nice minifigure. And no back printing, leg printing, or anything like that, but nonetheless still quite nice. Over here is another knight, and he has a flag right here with the blue and gold colored flag pieces. And this piece is a lance that they used for the flag pole, which I think works quite well. And these knights apparently are supposed to be walking in with some treasure that they probably found or something, or seized from one of the from the wizard or one of the skeleton strongholds. But yeah, I think he's a very nice looking minifigure as well. Has the same helmet as the last. Here is a young boy right here, who of course has the same hairpiece as Luke Skywalker did for quite a while, and if you ask me, I didn't think it was good for him, but I do like it on this minifigure. And he has a nice torso print, which makes him look like he's more of a peasant. And he has a little sack right there, most likely has a couple coins in it or something. And of course he's a doesn't have any leg printing because he just has those very short legs. But he does have some back printing as well, which I think looks nice. And overall, I think he's a good minifigure. And over here we have a man, who I assume is a younger man, and he has, of course, the same hairpiece as Anakin Skywalker does, the younger one, and I think that he's a nice looking minifigure as well. Same torso print as the last one, and of course he has the back printing as well. And I think that these two are brothers, or something like that, because they live in the same house with the blacksmith. The blacksmith could be their father. And over here we have an elderly man who has a walking stick, and again has the same torso as the last two minifigures, except his and the last minifigures have tan sleeves instead of brown ones. But anyway, yeah, he's a nice looking minifigure, has a different colored pants, and of course the walking stick and some sort of hat. And here he has a little sack or a backpack that is used to put in goods that he wishes to purchase at the market. Here is the blacksmith, and of course he looks like a blacksmith. He has his blacksmith clothes on, and he has a hammer as well. And I think he's a nice looking minifigure as well. You can see he has a sleeveless shirt, probably because he's sweating a lot. And he does have some back printing as well. Does he have an alternate face? I'm not sure. No, he doesn't. I don't know. I think that one of the other blacksmith minifigures from a different set does, so I think I got that confused. And anyway, now we're going to go on to the two women who sell things in the market, and this is the first one right here. And that's what she looks like. She has a somewhat unique hairpiece, which I think is nice, and also she has one of those slope pieces for her dress, which is quite nice because I like how the printing goes from the torso to the dress quite well. It doesn't look like it's off or anywhere, and you can only see a very fine line there, of course, where the pieces are different. Of course, she's wearing a sleeveless shirt, well, a dress really, and yeah, it looks like she has a small pack right there, maybe to put change or something, and a belt. And now we'll look at the next one, and this is the next woman who sells food at the marketplace, and she has an apron on as well, and she also has a dress as well that has the same kind of slope piece. Well, the slope piece is used for the dress, which I think is a nice decision, and I think that the printing flows well from there. You can tell it's two different looks like two different colors, but I think it's fine since it's an apron. And of course she has a different hairpiece as well. So overall I think that the minifigures are quite nice, and they have all different roles to play in this set, which is something that I do quite like. So here are the animals that come in the set. There are a total of 8, just like there's the same number of animals as minifigures. So first here you have the horse, which is a white one. I think he looks quite nice, and he of course has something where you can attach a saddle to, or the reins on him. And you can see there's a white brick and a plate that are right here in his midsection. That's basically to make it look like that's his coat, so when you take it off and want to put the little wagon on there, it doesn't look too bad. So that's what it looks like when you put the wagon on. Just put the brick on top, and he looks pretty decent. You would want to take this plate off, but it's too hard right now, and I think that it's gonna make my fingers kind of hurt, because yeah, the taking off plates are sometimes not the most fun thing to do. But anyway, I think it looks nice, and that's what the little cart looks like, and has some pieces of hay. Of course, it can roll on the ground, so the horse is trotting with it. So overall, I think it looks quite nice. Here are 2 cows, and they do look the same. Of course, they're identical, and I think they're nice. I've never gotten cows before, or since, and I think they look quite nice, of course. And they're brown cows, and you can see that they have a nice detailed head. and their head can move down if they wish to graze, and they do have a tail as well. And if you want to use them to pull the cart as well, you can also remove these pieces from their midsection to do that as well. So overall, I think the cows are quite nice. Next, we'll look at the smallest animal right here, which is a frog, and he lives next to the blacksmith shop in the little patch of water that's there. And overall, I think it's a nice mold. He's very small. Hopefully the camera focuses on that. But that's what he looks like, and he does have some eyes. He does have some legs as well. Over here, we'll be looking at the rat, who's obviously trying to get something to eat from something that's fallen, maybe an apple or a piece of fish. That's what he looks like. He's your average rat, and he can stick onto two studs. Now look at the brick-built animals right here, and these are the birds. And this right here, I'm assuming is a hawk. I'm not sure exactly, or a raven. That's what he looks like, brick-built again, so it's a little bit harder to identify what he is, but overall it's a nice-looking bird. Next we'll look at the duck, and I can tell now this is a duck because he has the webbed feet, and he has the yellow bill, so overall I think he's a nice-looking minifigure. Has some pretty nice pieces on here that are kind of rare, like this dark blue 1x1 plate, and these pieces right here, which are either used for leaves or wings on these brick-built figures. And right here is a chicken, which it's pretty obvious this is a chicken as well. Of course, it has the comb and the yellow beak. Of course, is all in white and has yellow feet. So overall, I think that these are nice animals that they included in. I'm happy that they were generous and included a lot. So they all have their roles to play in this, again, just like the minifigures do. So now I'll show you the stands for all the little areas in the market. So here are the stands and all the things that you can buy at the marketplace. So over here we have this one table, which is where this woman right here sells things. And of course she has a chicken, a piece of cheese, some bread, and of course I think that's a tomato or a cherry or something. And over here you can see that this stand is a bit more extensive, and this woman right here with the apron has more to sell. And you can have her stand back here inside and of course sell things. And I do like the pattern that they decide to use here on the top, on the thing that keeps her shaded. And over here, of course, there's a sign that tells you what things you can buy. Of course, it has apples, which cost 3 coins, flowers, which cost 2, and fish, which cost 8. So here are the apples, here are the flowers, and here are the mini fish that you could buy here. And overall, I think this is a very nice amount of food and things you can buy. And yeah, now we'll look at the tree. Alright, so here's the tree that comes in the set, and now I'm looking that we're already 13 minutes in. I'm going to try to be a bit brief with this. So it's a nice tree, uses some nice details on it, has some white flowers so you can tell it's a flowering tree. And overall, has a lot of these tree pieces for the branches, which is nice. And overall, I think it functions as a nice addition to the middle of the square. Alright, so here's the first house, and this is the one that includes the blacksmith shop and the horse stable, as well as a room, well, 2 if you have the house open like this, where the 2 boys and the blacksmith, of course, live. So I'll go ahead and set my recording device down right here, so we'll look at the blacksmith shop. So this is what it looks like. It looks quite nice, and if you turn it around a bit, you can see that it has a little sign that has a blacksmith picture with a hammer, and of course the thing that he hits on, well, the sword where it rests. And of course here's the doorway, and you can see that there's the little hammer inside. And if I turn it around, you can see inside is a nice feature. And you can see there's a propeller in there, and you might be wondering what this whole contraption does. So if you turn the wheel this way, it turns the propeller, which makes the hammer hit the sword. So you're actually hitting the sword and, of course, forging it, which is a really nice idea, and I love the function. It works so smoothly. It's really simple. It doesn't require a bunch of strange pieces. The only strange pieces are the pieces for the wheel here for the mill wheel, and I think it works quite well right here. And of course, you can make your sword. And here, of course, is a little fireplace right here as well that you would probably use to heat up the metal. So overall, I think that's a nice area. And of course, you can have your blacksmith stand around in here and then hit it just in case he wants to be a bit more specific with his hits. And also, if you want to look on the other side, you can see that he can, of course, stand in here, which is also nice. And over here you can see as well there are some torches, which of course can be used to light up the place when it's dark outside. And over here you can see that this is where the horse stable is, and there are two gates, and they can be opened like this on either side. And I'll go ahead and put in the horse, and he fits quite well inside. And lift up his head a little bit. There he goes, he's inside. And he does have a carrot that he can eat on if he wants, which is nice that he would be able to get some food, especially if no one's really there. He has a little something to eat. Whoops, a piece fell out. I'll go ahead and put that back later. But anyway, yeah, he looks quite nice in there. And of course, if you have another horse, you can add in another one, the second little stall. Of course, you can close that if you wish. And if you want to look at that at the back, you can see this is what it looks like. And you have these little, I don't even know what they're supposed to be called. I don't even know what they are supposed to be, but they look like black carrots or something. Who knows, they could be radishes or something for the horses to eat if you want to give them some extra food. And over here, if I lift my recording device up, you can see that there are some rooms, and I think the rooms are done quite nice. And this one here has a little table. Whoops, needs to be stuck down. And the little chair, so you can go ahead and you can sit your minifigure inside, and yeah, that's what he looks like in there. He does have some little goblet to drink from, and he also has a picture of some man right here. And over here in the other room you can see that there's a picture of a woman and also a fireplace as well, which you can open if you want to. There's a hinge, and that's what it looks like inside. And the fireplace does extend out here to the top, and I think it looks quite nice. And of course, you can open the windows here if you want to get some fresh air, some light inside of the house. And another thing that's neat about this and the other one is that if you want to close it and just make it look a bit smaller, but you want to have it back, you just do this and just press it closed, and there you go. I think it looks quite nice like this too. It's a bit more compact, and I think that it doesn't look as good if the horse's back area is just right there by the hammer, but I think it's quite good for storage, and I think it looks good up from the outside, and overall I think it looks quite nice. I do prefer it when it's open. So also, oh, I forgot to mention, you get a rack as well to put some of the weapons that you have just forged here if you want to sell them to the knights. And overall I think it's a very nice house. It's probably my favorite out of the two, but yeah, we'll look at the second house. So this is the second house right here. It has a really neat color scheme with the light blue, the black, the brown, which is supposed to, of course, be wood, and some gray to represent the stone. And I think it's a really nice shape. And there's not as much going on here, but there's a lot of details inside, because if you cannot see it already, this is a more richer home for someone who's obviously in the middle class or someone who's a bit higher in the ranking system. And over here, of course, at the top, you can see there's some plates, and this is where on the box it shows you, it shows that the birds are perched up there. So I'll go ahead and stick them up there. I'll move them a bit further apart, so when I close it eventually, no one will knock into each other. And again, it's a very nice looking building, and over here, of course, you can open the door and it'll lead you inside. And I'll be turning this around a bit, not fully because I'd like to show you this area. This is, of course, a stairway which leads into the leads onto the second floor of the house, which is nice, and it looks really good once you close it up fully. And now if you look inside, you can see here on the first floor there's the door, and there's also a brush right here, which is the only time I've ever gotten a brush in a set, but I do think it looks quite nice. And of course, minifigures can't brush their hair because it's plastic, but I do think that it looks nice. And of course, it goes here in this little barrel. Of course, it's probably filled with water. Over here, you can see that there is a barrel which obviously has ale or wine or something in it. And of course, here's some goblets so you can drink to your heart's content. And here, of course, is a bottle as well that's sitting right here, which could have some sort of perfume in it. Of course, here is a chest. Moving on up here, you can see that there is a little table and another chest of drawers. And of course, this chair has one of those pieces that tends to rise in there. I know they're used a lot on those Ninjago spinners. And yeah, it's nice. The minifigures always fall off if you try to sit them on there. But yeah, there's a little table there. Who knows, if you want to write something or just want to look outside. And by the way, you can move these windows slightly and open them if you want to get some air light in. But they do let in a lot of light already with the little openings that are in them. And over here you can see there is a very comfy looking bedroom. And of course there's a little area to stand something. And of course the bed has a nice pattern. And there's also a fireplace which extends up here to the top. And I like when fireplaces actually make sense in Lego, where they actually lead to something. Of course, has a nice bed frame as well, and a window behind, so you always get some light or fresh air inside your bedroom. So that's quite nice. And again, like the other house, you can close this up if you wish. And I'll go ahead and show that right now. And this might be a bit harder because one of these 1x1 pieces might be a bit too far turned or something. But yeah, I think you get how it works. Hopefully this doesn't break. But yeah, I'll do this off camera to make it a bit smoother. Alright, so this is what the house looks like all closed up, and you can see that's why I wanted to put the birds farther apart so they don't knock into each other. I do think it looks quite nice. Again, I do like it better when the houses are more open, because one of the sides tends to look plain very often. But anyway, that's what it looks like. Of course, that's the back. And something that I also liked about this house is that it has this little banner right here with a crown. And I think that since this is where this woman is supposed to live, and I'll put her here on the little stairway, I think her husband is supposed to be one of the knights, so you'd think that he has a nicer home. But anyway, that is it for the house. So that is basically it for the set. I know this video is really long, so I hope that you all stuck around for the end. And when it comes to the amount of money I'd pay for this, I'd say I'd pay maybe up to 170 or 180, maybe 200 for this, just because how detailed and how large and how extensive this set is. But yeah, I don't think that this set is being sold for that much. I do think it's a bit underrated. So yeah, I'd definitely buy this set. I've had this since 2012 and got it on clearance for $90. So the price per part is really great on this. So yeah, this set originally cost $100, so it was definitely worth it. But anyway, that's it for this review, and I'll see you all later. Bye.